Welcome to the tutorial of tips for enhancing the design of your POK credentials. This tutorial aims to make optimal use of resources and time to ensure that the recipient has an excellent user experience with the credential. Therefore, keep in mind that the most important information contained in the credentials is who receives which credential, from which institution, and for what reason. Let's look at some tips that can help you in this regard. Let's start with general tips. When designing your credentials, you can choose between two paths. Either use the base templates found in the Template Credentials or Template Badges tab and adapt the editable fields. This optimizes resources and time. Or you can also create your own design from scratch. In this case, you can customize the credentials to the fullest extent, although it takes extra time. We suggest creating special designs according to the type of credential, such as a design for undergraduate degrees, a different design for postgraduate degrees, another one for skills recognition, etc. You can save the designs you use, whether they are offered as templates or created by you, unlimitedly. You can find them in the My Designs tab. A digital credential is a highly visual instrument, so we suggest adding aesthetic elements like backgrounds or logos of your institution. When choosing the colors for your credentials, both background and typography, ensure there is a contrast relationship that facilitates reading. Now let's move on to some more specific tips. When working in the design section, on the left margin, start with the background. In this section, you can customize the certificate's background and select an image. We advise that if it's not going to vary, your background should be a complete image that includes the logo, predefined text fields, the authority signatures, among other fields you consider, so that only what is variable is modified, or attributes, i.e. the date of the credential achiever. You can also choose to upload a flat background and add element by element, signatures, logo, text fields. Without them being part of the background, you can achieve the same result. Remember that for your background to comply with the recommended measurements of a certificate or badge, it must be 800 by 622 pixels. Try to include only the minimum and indispensable in the text fields accompanying the information of your certificate, institution name, achiever, and title. You can add extra information in the additional information section. We also advise using a single font or font family and a single color. In the attributes section, which you can distinguish because they appear in brackets, there are some suggested ones: institution name, achiever name, and title, which you can choose not to use, either because they do not apply or because they serve another purpose. Additionally, you have the possibility to add custom attributes. Any attribute selected at this point will be data that will be completed massively if you select bulk sending, or manually if you select manual sending. We advise you again to try to make the information provided essential. Don't forget that your design should include a free space to include the QR code. Also, its size can be modified and placed wherever you prefer. Once the data is loaded in Issue and prior to sending it, we advise you to preview the credential because, once issued, it cannot be modified. If you want to see the certificate in more detail, you can send yourself a test one. Once you are sure the certificate is ready, you can send it. These are just some tips that will boost the design of your credentials. Keep in mind that each credential you create is more than just an image. It is a testimony of someone's commitment with something for someone. That should be our goal when creating them.